Welcome to Theory of Pets. I'm a passionate pet owner with a drive to help others like me uncover the truth about the pet industry and what goes on behind the scenes. Hopefully you're a longtime listener and fan of the show. If so, you know that I try to treat my pets holistically whenever possible. And in the last couple of years, that has involved treating with CBD. I get a lot of questions from people about the use of CBD, how I use it, why I use it. And it's simple to explain the benefits of the products, but when you start talking about the products to buy, it really gets a lot more difficult. There's a lot of different options out there. You can buy the oil, the tinctures that you put directly on your dog's food or, in their mouth. You can also buy treats and food now that is made with CBD. There are chews that are made with CBD. There are different, almost like essential oil mixtures, but fragrances that you'd put in the air to help if you're doing using CBD to help calm your pet. So there's a lot of different options, and there are a lot of variables that will help you decide what the best option is for your pet, specifically how you're going to be using it and what you're going to be using it for. For example, if you're going to be using it for a stress reliever, the aromatherapy options are great, but probably not so great if you're going to be using it for pain relief. If you're going to be using it for travel or stress associated with, visiting the vet or the groomer, treats are probably your best option because they're mobile friendly. You can take them along with you when you go places. So, there are different options available. The products that you buy, like anything else, there are cheaper products, more expensive products. There are different formulas, lots of different brands now getting into the market. So there's a lot to know and a lot to learn about what you're buying to ensure that you're buying a product that's going to be safe, healthy, and effective for your pet. So today I actually had the privilege of talking to Damian, who works for HolistaPet. HolistaPet is jumping into the pet industry with CBD. They have been around for a while now, and they have everything from the CBD oil, tinctures, capsules, dog treats, cat treats, lots of different options as far as the products. And they also really focus on high quality CBD. And I think a lot of people don't realize, just because it's a newer product and we're not really educated, they don't realize that there is a lot more to choosing a company and the type of CBD that you're going to give your pet. Not just, shopping around for treats or oils. It's looking into how the how the hemp plant is harvested, how the oil is extracted, and then of course how it's then used in the products. And so I wanted to talk to Damian today about that and get some tips on making sure that we're buying healthy, safe products for our pets.
So Damien Gomez, I've been with HolistaPet for just a little over about a year and a half now, and initially I came on as an SEO specialist with the company and just kind of embraced the whole CBD culture and moved up a little bit, and now I am the marketing manager for the department here, and managing a team of about 12 awesome team members, and we love what we do.
Awesome. That's fantastic. And I've done podcasts, I know you've seen the other ones, on CBD and the benefits of CBD for pets. Can you just do a quick rundown of, some of the benefits of it and maybe the most common uses for CBD in pets?
Sure, absolutely. So CBD has gotten, right now it's like a hot topic, right? You hear about it everywhere for both people and for animals. And basically what CBD does, the constant feedback that we're getting is how it really improves in two categories, one with stress and the other in mobility. And it has a lot to do with ECS, how it interacts with your endocannabinoid system, which is found both in animals and in humans. And what it does is kind of just helps modulate the inflammatory response that our body deals with when injury or something, some type of trauma happens to the body. And with CBD and pets, we've heard so many like wonderful stories of, like their dog that they've owned for 12 or 14 years is starting to, age a little bit and slow down, doesn't jump on the couch as fast as they used to. And then through, trying to implement a good diet and a healthier lifestyle and just trying to promote activity and incorporating CBD into that regimen, sooner or later the animal starts to respond, and the next thing you know, you get that inner puppy back, if you will, which is awesome to see. And also, when just recently we just passed 4th of July, right? And I don't know what it was like for you where you were, but over here there was just it was pretty loud, and we knew that pets were going to be dealing with a lot of uncomfortable noises and such, and so we kind of tested out a 4th of July CBD sale, if you will, to see what kind of response the market was. It was outstanding, and we had a really great sale, and we got a lot of feedback that they noticed that the pets weren't freaking out as much, the dogs weren't running around in circles or hiding under tables. They were able to deal with the noise at a pretty decent level. So those are the two major instances and categories that we've seen CBD help with animals a lot.
That's fantastic. And there's tons of research, as you said. It's kind of been a hot topic lately. So I think a lot of people are hearing about the benefits, which is really great. And the biggest question that I get from pet parents, they are thinking about adding CBD to their dog's diet or their cat or their other pets, adding it into their regimen. The problem that they're having is there are so many options out there now. And as with most other products, price is not always the way to go when it comes to buying the best CBD products. Can you talk a little bit about that and about how pet owners can make a good decision about the products that they're buying?
Sure, absolutely. We get caught up a lot on brand names, right? Sometimes we just go with what is super popular. Sometimes we go with a nice referral from somebody. In other instances, we kind of have to discover through our own research and find out what works or what we think is going to work best for us. One of the interesting things that I've noticed with CBD, it kind of initially almost had like a taboo type of vibe around it because it was associated with cannabis, and people might have looked at it in not the best light for the wrong reasons. They felt like maybe they couldn't discuss it with maybe their veterinarian or someone that they knew that they could trust about this topic. And so a lot of the research and findings that they found on their own, there was a little hesitation. It could have caused a little hesitation. But ultimately, the usage started to increase, the results started to come in, and now people are flocking to this as a solution for something. And when you're ready to make that purchase, the one thing that I really am proud of in working with HolistaPet is that we really focus on trying to deliver the healthiest versions possible from our products. So, for example, we have a series of dog treats, and you'll notice in the industry that the areas that are promoted for the use of CBD are pretty much the same. And with the dog treats, there's one that focuses on joint mobility, heart and immune, and then stress and anxiety. And in each one of these special recipes, we source really awesome superfood ingredients. For the joint mobility, we're going to look for turmeric root, boswellia root, hemp seed powder. We use different ingredients for each recipe that's best suited for that particular condition that they're dealing with. And a lot of times, outside of just what's on the ingredients, you kind of have to look at the consumer should be aware of where these ingredients are coming from, the source of their CBD, even sometimes who owns the brand that you're purchasing from. Amazon, for example, features a variety of awesome products, but if you take a look at certain hemp offerings and products they have, sketchy feeling that you might get with that, right? You don't know if the reviews are bought. You don't know how, who really, you're not going to be able to find out the answers that you're looking for when you just kind of make a purchase right off the bat like that. But with a brand like with HolistaPet, you can call us and we're going to pick up the phone. We can tell you everything that you want to know about our CBD, where we get it from, what we put into it. You can even visit our manufacturing facility here in Commerce, and we do it all the time, and we kind of give people a tour of the manufacturing process, and we introduce them to our certain individuals, the chefs or the biscuiteers, if you will, that produce our awesome products. And all the ingredients are right there on the shelf. We mix each batch one by one, and we use, they're really, like the dog treats, it's kind of funny. We can eat them, and we do all the time when we're testing the batches, because although it is, in the shape of a dog bone, it's a cookie, if you will, and you can totally consume it yourself, and they taste great, because we know that we wouldn't want to put anything in our pets that we wouldn't want to put in ourselves. So we live and we stand by that. And it's just kind of like a funny thing to show somebody when they walk in. We just grab dog treats off the shelf and we start popping them, and they taste fine.
And there are quite a few different products available now. It used to be like just the oil and the tinctures you would find, but now, like you mentioned, there's dog treats and other products. What's the difference as far as like how they're digested and metabolized by the body? Is there a difference? Obviously, if your dog will eat a biscuit treat, those are going to work, but some dogs won't. So you might go for the oil or a different option. But about the difference between like how they work and how well they work, is there a difference from product to product?
There is, and ultimately, what you want is for the CBD to enter your bloodstream. You want it to be active in your body, and so the method of ingestion will greatly either, like if you have to ingest something, right? If you're gonna chew something, you have to masticate. You have to chew it up, and then are you looking to absorb it right there in the mouth? The active ingredients is supposed to absorb in the mouth, or are you hoping that it's going to process through your GI system and then it absorb in through the large intestines if it makes it there safe and sound type of deal, right? So the different methods of ingesting CBD depend on what you're trying, what the goal is, if you will. So the fastest way for animals based off our products on how to benefit would be the oil, because it comes in direct contact, with the mouth and the oil, and it can absorb right away into that area and deliver that response. And we normally see it's about 20 minutes after administration that starts to take effect. And then if it's not what's the word? If it's not convenient, or if your pet just doesn't really like the taste for whatever reason, then you can shift into the capsules, right? Which are it is just that it's hemp powder with the CBD isolate, and we put it in a capsule so that when you hide it in the food, they can ingest it. There's no taste involved. They consume it. It passes through the stomach, and where it finally opens up in the intestinal tract so that the CBD can again absorb into the body. But there's a little bit of time that you'd have to wait for that to happen, depending on the digestive, how fast the metabolism is in that specific pet. And the treats are kind of, the treats are just really healthy. It's just an awesome treat, if you will. It is just that. They are infused with CBD, and they're not meant to dose the pet. Each treat, it's like a supplemental benefit ingredient in these treats. So the treats aren't meant to replace the tincture oil or the capsule. They're meant to complement the diet. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And do you recommend that pet owners discuss CBD with their vet before feeding it to their pets?
Oh, absolutely. One of the things that you might encounter is, and this is unfortunate. So most of our customers kind of find CBD in a time of stress where they're dealing with something or there's a discovery made about their pet's health. And, naturally they want to find a solution. And so they'll go to, their veterinarian, if you will, and then they'll say, hey, this is what's going on. And the animal gets diagnosed with something. And then it's like, oh my gosh, what do we got to do? What can we do to prevent the progression of this condition, or what can we do to get rid of it? And they end up going down this very difficult and emotional roller coaster at times. And then enters CBD, right? They start looking into, well, I've heard about this. What does this do? And most veterinarians, we're one of the, I think actually we're the only brand that has a veterinarian board. So we've hired a number of doctors, I believe we're at 7 right now, to review all the content on our website to help us deliver the best information possible to all our customers. And what we're finding out is that a lot of veterinarians are on board with it. They just can't put their name behind it 100% because of the certain legalities with CBD that we're trying to push through as a community. Right now, they just can't legally stand behind it 100% and say this is going to do X, Y, and Z. This has been proven. Here's all the case study research. Here's all the backed FDA research. The United States hasn't gotten there yet, and so they're in a position to where they can't, really get behind it. But if you speak to a lot of veterinarians, they generally the stuff works, and they'll encourage their the patients to you can do this, and this is what we can do, Western medicine style, if you will. But there are other holistic alternatives that people turn to as well, and they often introduce CBD as that alternative.
That's fantastic. And I know you mentioned it a little bit, but there's studies going on all the time. It is fairly new as far as a treatment option goes. So, of course, studies take years and years to conduct. And so there's not a ton of research out there right now, but there is some. There's links below the podcast for anybody that wants to look into that. Your website has some great resources, which is awesome. So that's shared below too if people want to check that out. I know you mentioned that, of course, consumers can also reach out to you guys and you'll answer any questions that they have. So that's a great resource too.
Yeah, absolutely. We have an awesome customer service team. We try to make ourselves readily available as often as possible. So from 6 to 6, Monday through Friday, we have live chat resources. So our customer service team right here next door to us, they're picking up the phones, answering your questions. They are real people. And, you can definitely, they'll provide you with phone numbers if you just want to talk to them in person. Whether you're trying to connect through us from our website or Facebook, different social media channels, they respond as soon as possible. And, we try to do the best that we can. And it reflects. So, our Trustpilot rankings are phenomenal. We have over, I think, 1,100, 1,200 great reviews. We're at 4.7, if not higher, star rating already with that. And so it just kind of attests to what we're trying to do, what we are doing, and how we're providing as much information as possible to all the pet owners out there.
That's fantastic. And, that's the biggest part of it. Obviously, people can tell you that it works and all of that, but, getting the information and educating yourself is so important, not just with CBD, but anything that you want to try out with your pets for any health reason. So that's awesome. Kudos to you guys for doing that. That's great.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us just help, and that's really what it's about. It's education, right? Because and actually, not that I shouldn't say this, but right now CBD is what we're looking at. CBD is what we're having all these great results with, and that it's the hot word. Will it be in 5 years? I don't know. Something else, we might stumble across something else, or maybe somebody develops a cure for something, and then that's what we're going to be talking about. We're focusing on CBD as a company because we can, and it's delivering awesome results. If it was something else, we would be focusing on that. We're not trying to get behind or jump on this bandwagon. CBD, CBD, CBD. It's not what we're about. We're really trying to help pets, and this is a way that we can do that. And eventually, we're going to learn about something else, and we're going to try and introduce that. So there's another cannabinoid right now that's kind of coming to market with a big splash. It's CBG, right? And so there's over 140 cannabinoids in cannabis, and we're learning more and more about each one each day. The other day, I read a great article that came from Japan that they were able to extract CBD from an orange peel, right? So it's not about the products, it's about the results. That's what we're building the company on, is we're trying to help pet owners and pets find solutions for their problems. It has nothing to do with the product. It's all about the pet. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for your time today. Was there anything that we didn't cover?
No, I think, we covered quite a lot. I know it was quick and straight to the point, but I'd encourage anybody to, again, visit our website if you have any questions. We have hundreds of articles, and again, we have our own veterinarian board, and we're really easy to get a hold of. And yeah, absolutely. Anything that we can do to help, we're here for you.
I was so grateful to have Damian on as a guest, as he talked about, and I said as well, it's all about education. That's what Theory of Pets is here for. That's what Top Dog Tips is here for. I love doing this. I think I have the greatest job in the world because I get to share information with pet owners. So if you guys have any questions about CBD and its uses for pets, reach out to me, reach out to HolistaPet. They were actually generous enough to provide a coupon code for our listeners. So if you're interested in that, you can check out their website. Again, there's a link just below the podcast here, so you can check that out and check out their full line. As I said, it's oils, dog treats, cat treats, tinctures, all of that great stuff. So if you're interested and you jump on their site, you can use the code TOPDOGTIPS, all capitals, TOPDOGTIPS, all one word, for 15% off store-wide. So that was really generous of them, and I want to thank HolistaPet for doing that for our listeners and our audience. Again, there's some great information. You can click the links below the podcast to check it out. It'll take you to HolistaPet's website. That's full of different resources. It'll take you to Top Dog Tips, where we have some great resources, and I also have some links there for some of the research. If you're looking into some of the studies that have been done on CBD, I would definitely encourage you to check that stuff out and really educate yourself, talk to your veterinarian, and see if this is something that you think would be a good addition to your pet's diet. Thanks so much, as always, for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate y'all listening. I'm sorry I took a short hiatus there for a while. If you're a regular listener, you've probably been waiting for a new podcast episode, and I do apologize for the delay. Obviously, 2020 has had its fair share of surprises, and here at Top Dog Tips, we've had a lot of changes, and things have been a little bit crazy over the summer. We made some changes and, tried to do some things differently, and so unfortunately the podcast had to take a little bit of a backseat for a while, but I am back. We will have regular episodes. I'm excited to share more information with you guys. If you have any questions or suggestions for future topics for episodes, just go to our website, topdogtips.com. You can click the link below the podcast. It'll take you there, and send me a message, send me an email, let me know what you guys want to know more about, or guests that you may want to hear from on the show. While you're there, if you're listening on, from the Google Play Store or on the App Store, iTunes, wherever you're listening, if you could take a second just to leave me a quick review, that always helps with, getting new listeners. And also it helps when I'm reaching out to experts in the industry to ask them to be guests on the show. I can prove to them that you guys are out there listening and you want to hear more. So thanks again for tuning in, guys. I will be back very soon with another great episode.